Are you ready to become a snowbird and fly south every winter? As seasonal rental prices rise, you know that buying a second home can not only be a great investment, but it can get you the life you're dreaming of. Yo, I'm Adrienne, a longtime Florida realtor, and I'm here to help you get your Florida life. Buying a second home can be exciting because you can pick anywhere you want to buy. You don't have to think about schools or work, it's all play. So let's start with where are you going to want to go? I'd like to think you've narrowed it down to Florida since you're watching my channel, but I definitely have had customers looking from Georgia to Costa Rica. Even when looking at Florida, remember, we're a big state. When you think about where you want to be, there are a couple of things I recommend considering. First, how warm or cold do you really want to be? I'm in Southwest Florida, and I've had plenty of customers over the years who bought their first second home in the Panhandle because they thought, it's Florida, it will be warm enough. The Panhandle gets considerably colder than we do. It's a good 6-hour drive from here. Imagine driving 6 hours north of where you live. The weather is colder, right? I've also known people who move out of my area because they don't like snow in the winter, but they like a little chilly winter. That's not for me, but it could be for you. Second, you might call your second home a vacation home, but it might not really be. To determine this, ask yourself how you plan on using it. If you're looking to come down here to take random weekends here and there, it's a vacation home. If you're thinking of taking 4 months at a time down here, then it's a second home. The difference is when you spend a couple weekends here, you have different needs than when you're coming down here seasonally. You want more of a home in that case. You're going to want to know where the grocery store is, and you might want to know where the local doctor is. You might also not like tourist traffic for 4 months of the year. Think not just vacation, think life. Now let's talk about how much you want to spend. Obviously, I don't know your finances and I'm not asking, but you should keep in mind there are sometimes different expenses in owning a second home. These often aren't major, but you should keep them in mind. Sometimes insurance and mortgage rates are higher for second homes. You also can't do all the upkeep yourself when you're not here. You will definitely need a landscaper and possibly a pool person. If you're not here in the summer, everything grows like crazy here. Some people even choose to hire a home watch service to watch the home when they're not here. Is it realistic to use this property as an income property? It sounds great to be making money on a property when you're not here. I'm going to do a whole video on using your second home as an income property next week. So if you're interested in that, please subscribe and come back next week. But for now, I'll tell you one thing you need to remember is often when you want to use the property, so does everybody else. So sometimes that takes a little finagling. Know that renting a property off season can be done, it just can be a little bit hit or miss. Now let's talk about size. Often when I get people who are looking for their first second home, they're surprised with what size they end up with. A lot of people look at the same size home or very close to the same size home they have up north. And then there's the other camp who thinks we're just going to be down there for a couple of months. It's just us. We just need 800 square feet. Let's talk about both options. First, if you're thinking you need the same size home because you're going to have visitors, let me assure you, if you get a Florida home for the winter, you're going to have visitors. But what you need to remember is not everybody can always come down at the same time. Sure, everybody would like to, but most of the kids and the grandkids have school or work. So getting them all here at the same time sometimes can be difficult. The second thing you need to remember is it's Florida. We are outside all winter. I'm recording this in the winter. Even though I have a lot of people who move down here because they want to get away from the winter weather, they often almost forget how the lifestyle is going to be. They're worried about everybody feeling enclosed and not having enough space. I assure you, they're going to come down here, sleep in their beds or on the couch or wherever you have them, and then go outside. So you don't need to worry about that. If you're one of the 800 square feet people, let me tell you, if you're living in more than about 2,000 square feet now, you have probably forgotten what 800 square feet looks like. It may be fine, but you need to keep in mind we don't have basements here. If you want to keep a bike or a kayak, if you're looking to do a lot of things outside, that may be more difficult if you don't have the space. And again, you are going to get visitors at some point. It's very likely. Now that should get you started. If you are thinking of making this an income property part of the year, please subscribe and we'll talk about that next week. Thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you next week.